Hey everyone, just wanted to do a quick video to show you and get you started with the NCSS challenge for Grok. Um, there's been some really good work already put together by some of the other teachers, some great introduction videos to what the NCSS challenge is, but this one's just to give you a look at what it actually is and how it works for us here at North Keilor. So whether you're in year 7 or 8 doesn't really matter. The only difference is which stream you're competing in, but the basic process is the same. So here I have my 7.0 Digital Technologies page. A couple of things to show you on this page before you continue on. Firstly, up the very top, I have an NCSS Challenge Year 7 forum, and I've done the same thing for the Year 8s. Essentially, this is a forum where you are encouraged, I should say, to go on and ask questions of each other, to help each other, and also to ask questions of your teachers. It's across the entire year level. So although it shows up on your class page and your teacher may or may not move it to somewhere else on your page, check carefully where it is, but it's across the whole year level. So you can help each other and ask questions of each other right through the whole level as you're all doing the same thing. So you can post a thread, so a new question basically, or you can respond to one that is already on there. Please obviously be extremely respectful of each other. This is open to all people in the year level, and I shouldn't have to say it, but I will. Any inappropriate behaviour will be dealt with according to the school rules. Remember, we know who you are because you're logged in as you. You cannot post without being logged in. So if you're going to do something silly or be inappropriate, it's going to be very, very clear to the teachers. Again, I'm sure you won't do the wrong thing. It's there as a way to help. The other thing, just quickly point out, is there is a new tile in our units of work area for the Grok challenge. Here it is down here. Again, it's number 7 for the year 7 group because yours is a year-long subject. But for year 8, so we're just coming on with this now, I think it's tile number 2. But basically the same thing, and it's where you should be going in to have a look at stuff to do with the NCSS challenge. So again, this page is essentially the same for year 7 and 8 with just some very slight differences. The first thing on the page is that really great introduction that Miss Clark has made for us about what the challenge is. So I really encourage you to have a look at that. Then there's some notes that just talk about what the challenge is. Most of this has come from the Grok site directly. The only real difference here is this image about which stream you're doing. So year 7s, you'll be doing this one that says beginners in Blockly. Year 8s, you'll be doing the one with Python. It's still the same green color because you're doing the beginner level, okay? And it shows you what you're looking for on the Grok site. Okay, and this is the same forum that we saw earlier. As I said, it is on each class page, but I've also added it at the top of the main page. So it all goes to the same thing, but it's a good idea just to know it's there. Okay, that's basically what we're looking for. From there, let's get into Grok and have a look at what we need to do. Okay, here we are in Grok, and as was already indicated, the challenge has been assigned to you. You may not see it up the top because if you did what you were asked to last week, you were working on the introduction to programming. So you may have to scroll down and find it. So again, it should be in this first section, but if you're really having trouble finding it, then you can use one of the search options here, or even just use the search option on the side here and type in NCSS, and you'll find it. Now, there are all the old ones there, so make sure you scroll down to find the 2020 version. But otherwise, when you found it, you need to click continue to get into it. All right, once you're into the challenge itself, you'll see that it's pretty much the same structure as what you were doing last week for the introduction. And I'll just again say you don't need to finish the introduction to programming. This now takes over from that. You're welcome to finish it, of course, if you like, but this is now what you need to work on, the NCSS challenge. So please read carefully through everything that's presented to you. Just like we mentioned earlier, if you don't read something, chances are you'll miss out on some important information and you won't be able to actually go through it. So read through carefully each of the sections on the side here. When you get into these 1.1s and 1.2s, that's talking about the work. Now, the basic idea is each week has 2 sections. So there are 5 weeks, and each week has 2 sections to it. So the first one is week 1, and after the decimal point is which section you're working on. So this is week 1, part 1 that I'm about to begin. As I go into the dots, okay, I have a look at the work that's there, and if there's something that I can run, I should do that. And then I can go to the next dot, and so forth. Now, one thing to note in these dots here, if there is something to run like this, it's very important that you do it. Notice here how I get a tick to say I have in fact done that part. So this is my learning. This is the evidence of my learning. So it then says here I need to change the green message to be hello world, change it to hi. All right. So I'm going to change the text up here to be hi using exactly what's there. And you can see how now it's also gone green. And it then says to click the play button again to show it. And I get all the confetti and it's shown. And also over here on the left, that dot is now green. Now, this is very, very important because if you're looking for help from your teachers or even from one of the online instructors at the NCSS Challenge, it's absolutely critical that you have actually done the learning. If we come in here and we see that you haven't done these, so these dots are not green, you haven't got ticks for each of the steps involved, then we're going to point you back to doing the work first, okay? Because you're trying to jump ahead and you've obviously missed the important steps. So please make sure you do in fact go through and read everything on the slide and that you do in fact run and change and do the work as stated. Occasionally there might be a dot where nothing can happen. So if that's the case, don't stress. We're not automatically going to say, hey, you've done something wrong because every single dot's not green. But we are certainly going to say, well, you've missed something there, might want to go back and have a look. So here we can see it's talking about an error message. So I've got 1 green tick, but I need to change something here. And it's this command here. Now, again, year 7s, you're doing Blockly. It'll be the same ideas, but instead of you typing commands, you'll be doing dragging and dropping blocks. And again, happy to show you that in a second. So here we go. I've completed this slide again. And that's all well and good. I'll jump ahead a little bit here. When you do get to a question, same thing applies. You need to make sure that you do each step. So I need to change the message to hello world, done that. I need to run my program, do that. I don't know why the first one didn't change. Let's try just doing it again. There we go. So you can see the same process applies here, that it ticks and shows each step of the program or the problem that you're doing. And when you eventually get a program which you're confident in, you can mark it and you'll see that you get the messages, that you get the confetti and the green ticks everywhere, and then you get the green diamond to show that you've completed that task as well. So what we should be looking for in essence is green all the way down the sides here as we scroll through all the tasks. Okay, and that is your process. Again, just to quickly remind you that if you need help, to maybe start by contacting your teacher or using the forum that we've provided for you on the class page. You also do have the option of this tutoring. So up here towards the top left, you have the option for tutoring, which is where you can ask a message of the online tutors provided by the NCSS Challenge. Again, please, we do not want to have to get messages from the Grok people that students from North Keilor have been rude or disrespectful. Again, they know who you are and where you come from because you're logged into the system. Again, it's one of those things I wish I didn't have to say, but occasionally people forget, and the way they behave online isn't the way they would normally behave in a classroom sometimes. So please use all the methods that you've got available to you and make sure that you do the best you can. The last thing I'm going to say quickly, again, is about expectations of work. Now, the first week is reasonably straightforward, and most people tend to get through it in about an hour's worth of time, which is great if you put a real effort in. But we absolutely expect you to try and complete all of the week 1 programs. In fact, each of the week's programs and challenges in that week. They come out Monday morning and they close Sunday night. So even though your classes may be later in the week, I strongly encourage you to get onto Grok as soon as possible at the start of the week and get started. There's no reason to wait till your Thursday afternoon class, for example, to look at it for the first time that week, because chances are you're not going to complete it before Sunday. And that's especially important if you do want to try and get a good competition score. Okay? Your teacher will decide whether you're putting in enough effort from a school point of view, but if you want to get a good score and get a good certificate at the end, then you want to make sure you get onto this as soon as possible. Certainly by the time you get into weeks 3 and 4, the challenges certainly increase, and you might find yourself spending 2 to 3 hours a week on Grok. So again, think about getting on early, and so you can pace yourself out over the week. Don't just rely on your class time, and don't just wait till the end of the week. That's pretty much all I want to say for the moment. If you've got any questions, please get in contact. Again, the forum is a great place. I'll be checking the forum regularly right through the week, not just in class times. And so I know the other teachers will as well. So please get in contact with us if you've got any questions about how either Grok works itself, the competition, or obviously specifically questions that you're having trouble with. Thanks everyone, and good luck.